Hey everybody, it's Jason from the Texas Gun Vault 2, and it's kind of been a long day. Just got back from playing in a concert. You guys know I'm a professional musician, and just kind of in my get home and relax mode, drinking a IBC root beer. Yeah, if you guys like root beer, IBC, in my opinion, is the absolute best. Love this stuff. All right. Well, I have a couple things I want to talk about tonight. I got two guns on the table. I finished some reviews for my friend Ken and got those guns back to him. And I kind of felt bad because it took me a little bit. It's just a busy time of the year. And he surprised me with two more awesome firearms. One that I have never reviewed, never shot, but always wanted to. It's probably an icon of the mil surplus world. And the other one is a variation of a gun that I have reviewed and shot before, but not this particular variant. Well, let's go ahead and talk about the guns that I have in for review, or that are going into the queue, because I still got some other guns I have to review. Well, I'm finally going to get a chance to review a Russian Soviet Mosin Nagant. Yeah, so this one, I guess according to the markings, was made in 1938. Now, I'm unfamiliar with some of the markings on this, so I'm not really sure what variant. I know there's like a million variants of these Mosin Nagants. And this is the one that I have. I guess I'll have to look at those markings. It says 1938-50, or sorry, /50. And then it has another number on there, or sorry, I guess that's the serial number. But then it says MO on it, but it has the other markings from the arsenals. It appears to be, for the most part, numbers matching. The bolt and the receiver and the stock all match. So this, of course, is chambered in 7.62 by 54R. And luckily, I actually have a little bit in my ammo safe, because somebody had traded me some for it. Somebody needed like 308 or something. And I had a bunch of that, and they gave me some 7.62 by 54R. And I was like, maybe one day I'll get a chance to shoot a Mosin Nagant. Well, that day is coming soon. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. I know that some people jokingly say this is the garbage rod. And these were imported in huge numbers for a long time. They used to be able to go buy them at your local Cabela's or your sporting goods store for like $150 to $200, maybe even cheaper. And now they've actually kind of gone up in price a little bit, and some of the more rare variants are very expensive. The variant I always wanted to get, because I didn't really want to collect Mosin Nagants, but the variant that I did want to get was the, oh boy, it's the something /59. It was like the last carbine that they ever had, and some people think it was like a last-ditch carbine, meaning like they just kind of cut down some of these longer rifles to a carbine length in case they ever really got into a war with the United States and they had to arm the common people. I forgot what the exact model number was, but I was very interested in those. And not a lot of people know where they came from. But yeah, this was made in 1938. It has markings all over. All the little parts are stamped from the arsenal. All the inspection marks. The wood is original. It shows signs of where it did have a little bit of rust on the top of the receiver and on the bolt. It's been addressed, so I don't think that's going to get bad or anything. And being from 1938, this thing might have seen some action in World War II. So I'm not really sure if, this was used on a battlefield. It could have been. I mean, I kind of wish I knew the history. This thing could have been issued to a soldier, and they could have carried it somewhere. This could have been part of some great battle and just got sold on the military surplus side. So I'll never know the history of it, but it is very cool nonetheless. So I'm very excited to shoot this. I'm not going to shoot it a bunch, but I will get some rounds through it. So I'm very, very excited about that. Now, a lot of people are going to say, it's just a Mosin Nagant, but I've never shot one, so I think it's going to make some good content for my channel. And the other gun that Ken lent to me is an AK, so kind of another com block gun here. And this is the ZPAP M70. It has the folding Zhukov stock on it. with kind of a very interesting forend. And the thing I like about the Serbian AKs is that the receivers are so big. They're bigger than your standard AKMs. I forget what they said they are, like RPK receivers. You know, they're just bigger. And where I think they're like 1.5 millimeters, where the original AKMs are just 1. I think that's the difference. They're also a little bit longer, and AKM furniture will not fit on these. You got to buy ones that are kind of adapted for the Zastava ones or the Serbian ones. And being the M70, this should have a chrome-plated bore. I'll have to take it apart and double check on that one. But yeah, these things are like super nice. Yeah, it's a chrome-plated bore. Yeah, I actually owned one of the early Serbian, I forgot what the exact model was, the OPAP or the INPAP. It was one of those. And it did not have a chrome bore. So I like the fact this one does. Now, I have reviewed an M70 in the past, but I haven't reviewed this particular variant. And yeah, so we'll see what happens, and I'll get some more time with an AK-47. So the Serbian stuff is really, really good. All right, so let's talk about a couple of other things that is on my mind. The first thing is, as I was expecting, I got some hate on my Matthew Hoover CRS Firearms video. And that's okay. Some people did disagree with me, and disagreed with me in a very polite way. And so I tried to answer all the comments that were nice, even if they disagreed with me. And I think we had a good discussion. I learned a few things, and some people brought up some really good points. And I understand, just like when it comes to the pistol brace stuff, why people are upset, okay? But I think I was pretty fair in that video where I said, you know, there's fault on both sides, where I don't think Matthew Hoover is 100% guilty. I mean, I don't think he should be spending the rest of his life in jail. I don't think that the government was really fair in what they charged him with. I think they overcharged him. And I do think there were some tactics that they used that was borderline unconstitutional. However, I also think that Matthew Hoover was guilty of something. You know, if he was telling people, if they bought those auto key cards, that they were buying lightning links or buying auto sears. Well, he was deceptive, and he was selling with the intent. I don't care if people say he was saying it in jest or this or that. I mean, the thing I have learned being here on the internet, mainly on my main channel and on my old channel, and as my new channel is growing, people are finding it, you don't realize who's watching. You know, it's really easy for somebody to sit here on the workbench in their garage or wherever they film and think it's just them. Right now, I'm sitting here in the garage by myself talking to a cell phone. That's what it is. It's almost 10 o'clock at night. I'm going to go inside, take a shower, get ready for bed, and go to work in the morning. But it's just me. And when I open this door to uploading videos, I open the door to people from all over the world seeing my content. Not just average gun people, but sometimes people of influence. I've told you that presidents and founders of firearms companies watch my channel. I've had former head of naval construction, rear admirals, contact me. I've had people that are well known in the firearms world, people that have designed cartridges that you know. I mean, ballistics experts. I'm always amazed at who watches. And I have no doubt that my videos have been seen by people in law enforcement. Not that they're doing some investigation, but they're just kind of scouring the internet on their free time, or maybe there's interest in guns, or maybe people are looking up information on whatever, and they just come across my video because that's what, you know, the YouTube algorithm and the recommendations and all that kind of stuff is. So I'm very aware of that. And that's why every time I make a video, I try to represent our community as firearms enthusiasts in a positive light. You know, I try to represent us well. I try to show firearms handled with respect. I try to show firearms handled in a safe way. I never encourage anybody to do anything dangerous or illegal with a firearm. I try to tell people about, safety. I try to tell people about the law. I tell people what the law is, and I try to give people remedies for if you don't like certain laws, certain things. Here are things you can do to potentially change that, or collectively we can work on it. Donate to pro-gun groups, contact your senators. Sorry, I just burped there. That root beer is very, very fizzy. You can vote. You can peacefully protest. There's a lot of things that you can do if you don't like certain laws, and that's what we have to do, and it's important that we educate people. So I look at myself as an ambassador to people that aren't gun owners or gun enthusiasts, because they might find my content. And of course, anti-gunners are always looking for things to show how bad the gun community is, or things that are silly or stupid. And I'm not going to be a part of that. I'm going to show them that we are responsible, good people, good citizens, and that we do the right thing, because I feel like that's my duty as somebody that's in the public eye. Even though my influence is extremely small, I have a lot of content out there. And I think that is really important, that I represent myself, I represent you, and I represent the Second Amendment in a positive way. And I don't really think that Matthew Hoover was doing that. And maybe he forgot that people can watch his videos that might be anti-gun or might be investigating particular activities that he might be doing. So I think it's just silly and stupid and foolish. Do I think he should rot in jail for the rest of his life? No, I don't think that. I think he was overcharged. But, actions have consequences. And, people were accusing me in the other video that I was not respecting his freedom of speech. And I said, I respect his freedom of speech. If he wanted to do this to set precedent, well, good for him. I'm happy. And I think he should be able to say anything he wants. But he has to understand that when you say something, people might have the free speech to say something back to him, or people might do something back to him. If you go out and you stand outside of an elementary school and you scream obscenities, while that might be free speech, you're definitely going to get a lot of kickback from people. So just because you have the ability to say something doesn't necessarily mean that you should, or if you choose to, understand that there are consequences to that action. And something else that people were saying, and I think they cannot get past the fact that what he was selling in those auto key cards or marketing was a piece of metal. And as I said in that video, and I think once again, the people that are just the keyboard warriors and don't actually listen to the arguments, it goes over their heads, is that I was not saying that he was selling machine guns, or I think that those little auto key cards are machine guns. I was not saying that at all. But somebody emailed me today talking about that video, and they made a great point. And they said, and this is established law, that if you go to the street corner and you tell people you're selling illegal drugs, okay, some type of illicit substance, controlled substance, and in actuality, it's powdered sugar that you put into little baggies, right? But you go out and you tell people this is whatever the substance is, cocaine or heroin or whatever, I don't know. And people buy it with the assumption that it is that substance. That is conspiracy to distribute a controlled substance. Even though what you're selling is not the controlled substance and is completely legal as, let's say, powdered sugar or whatever, because you intended to sell it as a controlled substance, you could be found guilty, and the person that buys it can be found guilty because they were buying with the intent to buy a controlled substance. So that's really interesting. And that's kind of what he was doing. It's not like this is something that is new or different or has never been seen before. They do it in drug cases all the time. He was saying, and if you don't believe me, just Google his name in YouTube, and you will find people that could have cut up his videos where he says these things. One video I saw was Matthew Hoover pretty much getting himself in trouble, or whatever the title was. And it's just clip after clip after clip of him saying things like, scratch your full auto itch. This is a lightning link. Buy it with cash. Buy it with a money order. Have it shipped somewhere else besides to all these things that would be like, man, it sure sells. If you took the whole machine gun thing out of it, if somebody was selling powdered sugar online, well, the DEA would probably go after that person and investigate. So it's not like this is not some type of precedent that has never happened before, something that's never happened before. So that's just kind of where things are. And I respect him. And people are saying that if, now he can challenge the NFA on this. Well, great. If that's the case, he's been injured, But the thing is, though, if the ATF most likely sent him a cease and desist letter before they arrested him, that was enough to say, okay, I'm stopping now. Now that I got the cease and desist letter, that gives me legal standing to sue them in federal court to overturn this law. There were smarter ways of doing it without him risking his life and risking his family and all that. There were ways of doing that. And I am in no way passing judgment on him as a human being, because I think in the eyes of God, we're all the same. Me, you, Matthew Hoover, an ATF agent, whatever. We're all human beings. We all have value. We all share value, and we're all the same. But when it comes to how he presented himself on YouTube, it was, in my opinion, not a positive image, okay? I'm trying to be nice here. He did not strike me, and I went back and looked at some of his videos. He doesn't strike me as an intellectual or somebody that was necessarily intelligent. I'm not saying he's stupid or a bad person, but it's just the image that he presented himself. He was not, he just didn't have a certain look. And I'm not saying having that look precludes or can take away your Second Amendment rights or whatever, or they don't have a right to speak. I'm just saying he became an ambassador for the Second Amendment, acting and looking a certain way. And while, of course, I don't film my videos wearing a suit and tie or anything, I always try to make myself look presentable. I always try to make myself look rational. I try to make myself look like pretty much I have my life together and in order. And I think that's really, really important. And I know that when you make a video that, flips a finger at the ATF, or you have a particular look with, especially in the gun world, if you have like one of those big tactical beards, or you have, a sleeve of tattoos, right? That's cool. That's awesome, right? For me, that's not a positive image, okay? I'm not saying if you have a whole sleeve of tattoos, that's bad or you're a bad person. I'm just saying, like, you have to understand that if you apply for a job and you have facial tattoos with barbed wire coming across your face and teardrops here, and it says swear words on the back of your neck, that whether or not you are an angel and you are the most holy person in the entire world, people are going to see that and perceive you a certain way because of the way that you present yourself. Rightfully or wrongfully, that is reality, and you're not going to change that. That is going to be a human thing for thousands of years. As long as humans exist, people are going to judge others by their appearance. And while it doesn't mean he did anything wrong or he should be convicted on it, the way that he presented himself to a large number of people, I don't think was that good. But anyway, he made a lot of incriminating statements. He poked the bear. I understand why people are upset with me, because they want YouTube channels to always come out and be like, great news, breaking news, the NFA's been repealed, blah, blah, blah. And that's not the way I am. I'm a realist. And I really feel like there's so much out on the internet right now that is clickbaity and half-truths. And man, I'm telling you, one of the videos that I have been holding back and making is I really want to criticize another YouTube channel. And it's not because I hate the person or any of that. I just really in my heart believe they do the Second Amendment a huge disservice. In fact, some people were telling me in the comments of my Matthew Hoover video to go watch him. I'm like, well, I'm already subscribed and I already watch all of his videos. And I don't know why, because all I do is get upset. And it's a legal firearms channel. He does not review guns. He talks about legal things. He has a video literally every single day. And the problem I have with it is he has clickbaity thumbnails. Okay. They have titles of the video that are false, and the videos themselves contain half-truths. So I'll give you an example. And as I said, I'm not going to try to use anybody's name or any of that, okay? Because I'm really not about getting into arguments with people. I just personally feel like it's my responsibility to represent the community in a positive way. And while I'm not the most charismatic, I don't have the biggest following because of the format of my videos, because I don't do the clickbaity stuff, because I don't have Tannerite in my videos. I don't do the gun bunny stuff. You know, I don't do all that. I don't put on a character. I don't talk like I'm from a different country. You know, I don't do that. It's just me, an average gun guy. I'm not going to get a lot of traction, which is perfectly fine. Nobody has to watch what I do. I'm going to keep doing what I do. But I really feel like this person, he'll make a thumbnail, for example, and it will be like something like, let's just say, the Biden administration is coming after your assault weapons. And he has like a picture of Joe Biden reaching towards the camera like this. And like right here will be like an AR-15. And he looks all mad. He's like that. Okay, well, that's a little bit clickbaity, right? It makes it sound like they've passed something or he's doing something. You watch it, okay, he hasn't done that. And then the title of the video would be something like, the ATF is stripped of their power to regulate suppressors under the NFA! Exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. So the title of the video literally makes a statement. It says, as a factual statement, the ATF has been stripped of their power to regulate these items. Okay, that is a statement of fact. But then you watch the video, and he'll talk about, the case in Texas where they're trying to get NFA items like silencers removed from the NFA or out of the purview of the NFA if they're made in Texas and stay in Texas, they're going to start to have legal arguments now. So the thumbnail was clickbait. The title was inaccurate. It made a statement of fact that is not true. And then the information you get in the video is a half-truth, meaning like, the Supreme Court said this, so this is what this... Okay, but the ruling hasn't come down. There's been nothing. They're just going to oral arguments. So you made a clickbait thumbnail, you lied in the title, and you gave half-truths in the video. And his videos get hundreds of thousands of views. And this does not help our side. The laws that we are fighting already are bad enough. We don't have to lie about them. And the victories that we can potentially get are great. We don't have to lie about those and exaggerate those either. Why can't we just have people give real information, factual information in an intellectual way? That's what we need. And that's what I strive to do here. And because of that, I know that I am never going to be big. I'm never going to be popular. I'm just going to be me. And I guess I'll just have to put up with the hateful comments, which is fine. It's okay. In fact, somebody on one of my was it, Atlas Gunworks videos made a comment today that says, "This is the absolute worst review I have ever seen on YouTube," and just literally berates me. If you don't deserve to review a gun like this, you shouldn't shoot a gun like this. You need to keep your mouth shut. Even though I rated the gun extremely high, like 4 out of 5 stars. Oh, sorry, 4.5 stars out of 5. Like a great review. I gushed over the gun. But they said, I'm not a competitive shooter, blah, blah, blah. And it took a lot of thought and time. I let it kind of sit there for a minute and simmer in my mind. But I chose not to respond, and I just banned the person from the channel because I'm not about that negativity. But I guess him typing that comment out made him feel good. And I guess that's fine. But I just banned him from ever commenting on the channel. And I just got to put up with that a lot. But that's just what I'm going to get because of the type of content that I make. But I'm true to myself. What you see on my channels is truly me. And you get honest opinions, honest thoughts. And if you don't like it, you don't have to watch. You don't have to subscribe. But I feel good about what I produce because it's real, unlike some of those other content creators. So anyway, that's what's going on. I know this has been a long, rambly video, and I got to get in, take a shower, and get ready for work. So if you watched to the end of this video, tell me if you like IBC root beer in the comment section below, so I know you watched to the end. So, as always, thanks for watching.